Hey everybody, it's Walker and Tim the Bearded Bubble Boy at Full Spectrum Laser.
Here we are.
We are here. We have a great show for you today. We are talking projects.
Yeah.
Like this massive project right here.
Well, don't give it away.
Oh, okay. They couldn't see it? And
No, they can't see it. It's not taking up the majority of the screen.
Okay, that's good. I do have this for you, Tim, just to make you a little more appropriate, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Give me a second to peel this thing off.
Okay. All right. We'll just sit here awkwardly while everyone watches us.
Yes, watch me peel a sticker.
While you're doing that, we have a couple people that have joined us. We have 15 people watching live. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Angie Stockton says, "Good afternoon."
Good afternoon, Angie.
Chris Rogers says, "Howdy."
What's up, Chris?
Jeanette says, "Hey guys, greetings from Soggy, Michigan." I guess it is raining.
Let me fix
Would
it.
be- oh,
Up right here.
there we go.
You just let her off.
My
There we
mom will
go.
appreciate that.
Yes. Alrighty. It's official. So, FSL, there we go.
Wendy Williamson Watts also says, "Hey from Newfoundland, not the Netherlands."
Oh, not the Netherlands today. That's
and
weird.
my mom says, "Hi Tim, hi Walker," and my dad.
Hello.
I'm assuming as well.
Yeah, sure. So we're going to talk how-tos, big projects. We're talking Muse Galvo, and we're going to do Tim's Top 10 and Q&A at the end. We're going to talk about sales and all that good stuff. So I think we should just jump into Tim's Top 10, yeah?
Tim's Top 10. All right. So number 10, jumping right in.
And there we go.
This week's theme was light fixtures.
Of course. I mean, I love light fixtures. We've covered it before.
We have.
We like light up stuff, but
Yeah, lamps are cool.
they are cool.
I've actually shown this one before. That's why it's number 10. But
Oh,
it's
okay.
really cool.
Seems like a
whale
whale of a
lamp.
project. Number 9.
Moving on to number 9. This really cool.
This is
spiral
really cool.
lamp project.
Yeah, I imagine they took a 3D object, sliced it up into vertical sections, and then they probably added that cat piece afterwards, yeah?
I would imagine so.
Yeah. We should do a coverage of like generating files for laser cutting from 3D objects.
3D images or
Yeah.
3D objects. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we should.
So number 8, we have
Number
very
8.
nice like moon tree.
It's a nice little lamp, you know, like a, what are those called? A night light.
Sure,
There we go.
that works.
Yeah, night light.
Number 7, this nice little house.
I like the little house. It's cute. I can't tell the design in it. It's like it almost looks like Shadows of Colossus. The like cloak from that.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see like the center bit. But yeah, it's like some hexagons and
Into like a cool design.
yeah.
I'm digging it.
Yeah, I like it. Number 6,
I like the little plants.
we have
Beauty
another
and
light
the
box.
Beast. It's Tim and I right there. He's
Fun fact, I did actually play the Beast my senior year in high school. So
in like theater or just the whole year?
both. Both.
Just kidding. Tim.
But no, in theater. That was our spring musical.
You're still beauty to me.
Well, thanks, man.
Uh-huh.
The curse wore off.
Yeah. That last pedal got me.
Number 5. We have
This is
cool,
really cool.
yeah, mechanical lamp.
I mean, super steampunky. It's got the little switch. I like
I want to
it.
know if those gears actually do something, like if there's a crank.
I have seen the file, and there is like a mechanism to move it up and down.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it is functional. I love functional steampunk gear stuff.
Right.
If you're just hot gluing stuff together,
Yeah, what's the point?
yeah.
Like, it's a cool aesthetic and everything, but
Yes.
I mean,
But less hot glue, more engineering.
yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Nice Lord of the Rings themed lamp here.
Yeah, I imagine they took a flat piece of paper and put it together, yeah?
That's what it looks like.
Unless they got really, like, tricked out with the rotary and a roll of toilet paper. Like, you can imagine, I mean, that's possible. You put, like, a cylindrical object and then actually cut out the pieces.
There's I can't unsee that this is a toilet paper roll now.
I know. That's like, I mean, a couple weeks ago, that would have been like, oh my gosh, they ran
You have
out
a toilet
of
paper roll? How?
How?
Number 3. We have this awesome.
I've been wanting to make one of these forever. You
That's
know how
very cool.
easy it would be to make a notched, like Mario
Yeah.
question mark thing?
Super easy.
And then you could actually add a motor and make a mushroom pop out, and then like a.
Yep, and it'd be done like 2 months after you say it would be done.
Yeah, exactly, but it'd be amazing. All right, Tim.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Hey, that looks familiar.
That's amazing. That is wow.
It's alright.
I would say that's one of the best I've ever seen ever.
I don't know, man. I think number 1 is way cooler.
I can't imagine you beating that. Like, number 1, Tim's top 10. What could it be?
I mean, it's my top 10, so
Yeah, that's
my
true.
opinion. So, I mean, number 1 is this cool thing right here.
What am I even looking at here,
It's a
Tim?
lampshade, man. Look at it. It's got antlers and it's got a deer silhouette and some trees and mountains in there. That's like really cool.
I mean, it's cool, but
It's way cooler than number 2.
I wonder who made that.
I don't know who made both number 1 and number 2. That's
I don't know, but I think we should see how they were made.
oh man, what a segue! Here we go. So we're still in here.
Oh, we're still. I'm a bubble boy with you, Tim.
Yeah, we're Bubble Brothers.
Bubble brothers.
Bubble
Bubble
buddies.
bubble. Oh, wow.
So this is a super tacky and antlered lamp base that I found at Goodwill.
For $8, you see.
Yep. So I decided to make an equally tacky, equally antlered lampshade. So here I'm figuring out the angle that I need to cut the canvas, and then this is just me figuring out how to build a 3D object in a 2D design software. So
That's you figuring it out.
a lot of fun. Yeah.
I think it's actually really easy to design for 3D in 2D. Just
be.
breaking it up into slices.
Yeah.
Like if it's extremely complex, I find that it's difficult, but something like this where there's like really only 2,
Yeah.
cross sections,
Yeah.
fairly easy.
So here's it's just duck cloth that I'm cutting.
Why do they call it duck cloth?
It's made from ducks.
Really?
No, I have no idea why they call it duck cloth.
Now, do you think you should have ironed it?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely should have ironed it, but we
Typical
don't-
guy right there.
Yeah, I don't own an iron.
I figured.
Yeah.
The the FSA shirt.
Hey.
It's okay.
FSL now, yeah.
It's okay.
So now we're cutting on some 5mm plywood. Cutting out, oh dear.
Oh dear.
See-
Oh
see
dear.
what I-
Oh,
see what I
man.
did there?
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
boy.
It's weird that you're cutting the shape of trees out on a tree. Do you find that weird?
I probably find it less weird than the tree does.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
One of life's great ironies.
From the handle, from the forest itself comes the handle for the axe.
Whoa.
Deep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So now I'm assembling it.
You got the X-Acto knife to just get those little bitty pieces out of there.
Yep. And then you can see some of those edges were a little rough, so I just cleaned them up a little bit.
I find the best place to get 5mm birch is Home Depot.
Home Depot. All right.
If you want to go local.
I have an issue with Home Depot.
I know. Do you want to tell them the story?
Not really. It's traumatic. It's a traumatic childhood experience.
I think they need to hear it.
All right. Well, when I was a kid, I had a reoccurring dream that I was trapped in a Home Depot with a pack of velociraptors, and so
Totally normal.
I'm
Totally normal.
physically uncomfortable anytime I'm in a Home Depot, but
Well,
I go there anyway. 'Cause-
I can't imagine.
So there we go. Now we put the
Alan.
now we put the shade on.
Life finds a way. I'm just gonna throw some Jurassic Park
Jurassic
quotes.
Park quotes. All right.
Yeah.
Clever go.
They
And
do
here we go. There's
travel
the
in
final
nerds.
project. Yeah.
I
Okay.
love it, Tim. I love it.
Okay,
You
now-
turned that pretty cool but very unique lamp
base.
base into something usable.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I like it.
So what's going on here?
I'm cutting circles with little circles in the middle.
Oh man.
Yeah, man, this is pretty cool. That's 1/4 inch acrylic. Cut that on the 90 watt at 15 speed. I wanted a real nice clean edge. And then I just started cutting paper. We had tons of paper. I figured we'd do this project with all the paper we have laying around. And I did these fine detail like paper cutouts for this guy, and I realized I did the math way wrong. So I had like 100 of these little wrong sized little flower tip things. So I decided to still use them, right? Look at the detail on that.
Oh boy.
Wow. That's some more 1/4 inch acrylic. Stop reading the comments and smiling.
I'm sorry.
We can get to that towards the end,
I'm
Tim.
trying to stay up on things.
All right.
Because they're reacting to stuff now. If we bring it up later, we're going to be like, what were they talking about?
Okay, well, bring it up.
Well, Jeanette says it's called duck cloth because it's a heavy, coarse, tightly woven fabric that was used in duck hunting game bags.
There you go.
Thank you, Jeanette,
The more you know.
for dropping some knowledge.
Dropping it. Now, I just cut that out of 1/2 inch acrylic because I wanted to keep this drill nice and flat when I was drilling in these side pieces.
Yeah, that's a nice little hack there.
Yeah.
You don't want it coming out of the side.
Yeah, I love the laser hacks. Keep it nice and square so it's in the center of that 1/4 inch. It's really difficult, to be honest. Like, if you didn't have that piece,
Right.
I tried it without it and it was totally like a
Just
mess.
coming out the side.
Yeah, just
breaking
popping
it.
out.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point, you could easily this could be a cool light fixture by itself.
Oh,
This
yeah.
little,
Little globe thingy.
yeah. I mean, and there are a lot of light fixtures like this, but I wanted to show a little bit more advanced, building. Because just a laser cut project is cool, but it's always nice to add other things, other elements. And that's just me test fitting those rods to extend it. This is actually called a dandelion light fixture.
Okay.
So I ran the fixture through. And then I start hanging, let's get to the rod part. So I got those rods off Amazon. And they weren't too expensive. I think I got like 50 for, they were like $1 a piece, I think. Not super bad. And I didn't want to not use those little guys. So I used the bigger one and just glued the little one on the inside. And you'll see why. Because you can't see it. But once there's a light in the back,
That's really cool.
there you go. It has a shadow effect just like yours, Tim,
Yeah.
with the little deers. So I thought that was fun. That's me struggling to put a light bulb in.
Yeah, I sped that up pretty fast. It took a while to get that in there.
Yeah, I would imagine. I was struggling.
So I see that with the little ones, it looked like it was just going to be too much space in between.
Yeah, I actually did the math at the base of this, like at the circle, like at the sphere itself. And then I realized, oh, it's exponentially out,
Oh,
right?
that was the end.
That was the end.
That was
Oh.
the end.
So, as always, we'll have that video complete and done with power settings and everything with a walkthrough Friday.
Yep.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Do we have any questions about it before we move on?
Let's see. Not on the project specifically.
Okay. We just got comments?
Yeah, a couple of comments, a couple of questions. Jeanette says that she would have thought that I would have been Gaston in Beauty and the Beast.
Wow.
And my mom thought she was talking about you, but then she corrected my mom and said, no, you'd beat LeFou. So.
What? Oh man, I don't even know what to say to that. That is such a compliment. He is such a good character.
LeFou?
Yeah, he
Uh-huh.
really adds to the movie. I kept thinking, when I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs. Like I wanted to sing the song, but
Every morning to help me get learned.
yeah, there you go. It's been working.
Are you roughly the size of a barge now?
Yes.
All right, cool. I don't know the lyrics to that song.
Neither do I. I wanted to just belt it out, but then I was like, yeah, not the right time and place.
All right, well, we had a special guest yesterday, didn't we?
We did, but we got to do Q&A first, right? Because he's our call out. He's saying goodbye for us.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's do Q&A. And so anybody have any questions, comments, and concerns about Full Spectrum in general, how we can make anything better for you, or if you have questions about running the machines, machines in general, power settings, Tim's phone number, if you think he looks like Gaston.
I might have a beard. Gaston didn't have a beard.
No, that's true. Did have butt chin.
Frank Javier Aguas asks, he says he has a PS24 and he's looking for a quick recommendation on power settings for cutting 16th inch rubber sheet.
Rubber. Now that gets difficult. Power settings, typically I get upset if it's not, if it's something very normal. But with a rubber sheet, what was the gentleman's name?
He's
Frank?
turning green. It was
Power
Frank.
settings.
Yeah, Frank.
So Frank, when it comes to rubber's a bit difficult. With a 90-watt system, I'd start at 100 power and probably 100 speed.
And maybe work your way down if it doesn't cut through.
Yeah, typically if something's completely new to me, and I know, because lasers don't like rubber as much as they like cutting through paper or something like wood. So I would do 100 power, 100 speed, and adjust from there. Sometimes if you have like a little circle, and you just make a little circle real quick and see what the output is. There's so many different kinds of rubbers. Some take the laser better than others, so it's hard to say. If it's rubber stamp material with a center, what is it, like a binding agent or a center core, some rubbers do have that. That binding agent will not cut that well. It's almost like hitting like a fiberglass layer or a layer of epoxy or wood. It just doesn't like cutting through that. So when it comes to that specific type of rubber, I like to actually engrave it because it engraves amazingly, but it doesn't like that center cut for that core for cutting. So I typically cut it out with scissors. I hope that kind of answered your question.
I see it a lot when people get frustrated because they do like an entire file.
Never do that.
Yeah, and they'll be like, "Oh, I ruined a bunch of material." I'm like, just try it on a test piece. Just get like a little tiny bit of material and just try and cut something.
Yes, don't just go at it with a full job with confidence, because every material is a little bit different. Your situation's a little bit different. Your tube actually has slight variations as well. So
A lot of variables.
A lot of variables to consider. So think about that. Don't run the whole job. But if you do, you can always, if it's too light, remember going too light, you can just go over it again. If it's too much, especially with an engraving, you can't just run over it again. It's, it's done.
Right.
Sometimes I go from like using the Muse to the Pro, and I put power settings, and it just blasts through it. And I have an engraving that is essentially a vector cut of just nothingness, just ashes to ashes.
Right.
So
yeah, it's tough going back from one to the other in the office.
If you're running 250 DPI on engraving of something you do not know and it's too light, let it go all the way through, run it again.
Right.
Then you can kind of get an idea, okay, well I ran it twice, it looked decent, so let me just run it once, bump up the DPI to 500, if that makes sense.
Yep. All right, so Jeanette had a question early on. She asks what the threaded inserts are used for on the Galvo. I think she means on the base.
Oh, that's a great question, Jeanette. It's for holding material down, especially thin metal, like we do a lot of the anodized cards for making quick cards for businesses and stuff. Sometimes if you have an exhaust system drawing the exhaust out, they tend to move. So anything that you can, bind down to the actual bed.
All right, Lena Dyer asks, my Muse won't run with the camera if the honeycomb is in. Any tips on making that work?
If the honeycomb is it Muse 2D or 3D? Major. Because if it's 3D and it's updated on the latest software, it will ask you if the honeycomb is in or not in. And that's a huge thing.
Okay, we can wait for her
So
response.
if it doesn't give you that prompt and you have a 3D or the latest version of the software, and you don't get that prompt, please update.
Yeah, you might need an update. Kurt Deemer asks, if you put a design on a leather billfold, would you raster image or vector cut?
On a leather billfold.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what your design is, really.
Yes, but if it's a pre-existing object, I suggest just engraving it.
Right, yeah, just
It could be a vector mark if you have a design that would really play well with a vector mark. Let's say like a money sign, you don't want it completely engraved. You want just all the fine little details kind of outlined. Then you can run a super low vector mark, reduce that current to almost nothing, and it would just touch that leather and give a nice line art design on it. Yeah? Yeah?
Yep.
Busting them out. Busting them out.
Frank has another question. He says, thank you guys. What temperature do you recommend on the CW5000 chiller?
That is a great question. So on Celsius, let me think Celsius. You want to keep it between, 55 and 85. I believe that's the numbers. I'll respond in the comments with the exact numbers. I always get them confused with something else. But you don't want it too cold. With the CW5000, it will actually ring, beep the alarm if it's too cold. Like say you live in Las Vegas, it really never gets to the too cold mark over here. So we never hear that end of things, but it will start beeping if it gets too hot as well. So I'll reply exact numbers in the comments, Frank.
Okay. Wendy Williamson Watts asks, my Muse 3D all of a sudden says camera not enabled. Any ideas?
Camera not enabled. Latest version of the software? That's my go-to. That's a great question, Wendy. Is your Z-axis motor still working? If that's still working, then I can talk to the guys in support and see what they have to say. I haven't seen that prompt myself, honestly, so I will have to get back to you.
Yeah, that is it at the moment. You want to talk some sales?
Yeah, let's talk sales.
So the first one is this guy right here.
So we do have the Pro 36, which is great for fabrics, and that is on sale as well with the 120 watt tube. We're not going to get too pitchy here. We're supposed to, have fun. So next, we'll go to the Muse Galvo. $500 off for the first handful of users to purchase the Muse Galvo. It will be shipping out the beginning of next month. So $500 off that starting price. The machine is crazy. I don't know if you follow us on Facebook. I guess if you're watching, you do. But if you're watching on YouTube when we later upload this, we're bumping out a lot of Muse Galvo projects. And they're coming out pretty cool. And I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it. It's just quick and easy. It's the fiber before was not that it was difficult, but you had to work around some things to get the engraving to happen. And now it's just like RE3. You just drag and drop it in. It's got the 3D camera, so it's got the motorized Z table, Z focus, and what's cool is you put 4 different objects down, different heights. With the 3D camera, it automatically detects the height. It will give that depth map onto your software so you can see the actual differences. I mean, you really don't do anything with it. The machine does all the stuff for it, but you can see that it has 3D data. And then it engraves one, changes height, engraves the other, changes the height, so it automatically does everything for you. Pretty amazing. It's extremely user-friendly. I would say the easiest machine to use.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely the easiest fiber machine.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, even a normal CO2 is pretty easy to use, especially with the software. But gantry systems kind of complicate things when it's just a stagnant laser source and it does all this crazy stuff in here. It just flicks mirrors like in 1,000,000 miles a second and draws the actual. It's actually, they use the same technology for SLA 3D printing, layer by layer. Same thing, except one layer at once just.
Super cool.
Super cool.
Lasers are cool.
They are.
Wendy responded, says she has the latest version, and yes, the Z is working, and she's already talking to Justin.
Okay, wonderful.
And then, what are your thoughts about adding Dawn dish soap to the water?
In the tube,
I'm assuming.
I do not suggest using soap, but I do suggest a capful, maybe a little bit less of bleach in your water system. That way, because we have had customers in the past where they started growing life finds a way inside of the tube.
Yeah, you can get some like algae and
algae for sure. The algae. And I mean, the one thing I saw, I thought the lady was brewing kombucha in her laser tube. It was extremely nasty. This was a couple of years ago when I was in support. But yeah, just a capful of bleach to keep life finding a way inside of your tube. It's that's how you fix that problem. Fix that problem. That's a Jeff Goldblum thing. Whatever happened to him?
He's got a show coming out on Disney Plus.
Really?
Yep. So yeah, that is our Muse Galvo coupon. Make sure you use that coupon code, the Muse Galvo 500, if you do order one.
They do travel in herds. We have our new guy, Alan, that loves Jurassic Park. He's watching the show today. He could be doing the show maybe in a couple weeks. Yeah.
I think that's the plan.
I think we're gonna put the pressure on him. At least do it with me, or like come on for a second and be like, "Hi, my name's Alan," and then walk away. I think that he'd probably be good at that, you know. Anyways, I'm off tangent here. I digress. I wanted to use that word. It sounds smart.
Oops.
Yeah. Oops.
So anyway.
Can you get your FSL logo shirt in the shot? There you go. Thank you.
FSL.
There you go. There you go, Tim.
All right.
My purple boy, Tim. All right. If you guys have any questions or suggestions for the show, you want us to do projects that have nothing to do with living hindrance, Jeanette, please let us know. We will do so. Unless it's like something really specific and weird, then we won't do it.
Right.
But if you have like a general idea, hey, it'd be cool to like see this, let us know.
We do have one more question from Frank. He asks, would you recommend using about 20 feet of exhaust rubber tubing to route all of the odor to the backyard?
Rubber tubing? You could do so. I always suggest exhausting into your neighbor's house. Just kidding. No, exhaust it out away from anybody any living thing really that you care about and other people care about. But if it's going to be that long, I do suggest an inline additional exhaust fan. You can get an inline from other places. We have an inline. We also have the inline pre-filter. It's like it's specifically for reducing the fumes that come out of the actual exhaust. So you could do fume extractor, ducting, pre-filter to reduce the fumes, and then, you know, extractor. Really depends on how long it is. I know our setup, we actually go up 2 stories and out, so we use 2 exhaust scroll fans.
Yeah. Yep.
So really depends on your setup.
Definitely. So we had a guest yesterday.
We did have a guest. His name is Jeff Gray. He actually runs a handful of laser groups on Facebook. He does installs all over the US for all sorts of lasers. And yeah, he's just an overall great guy. He knows a ton of stuff about lasers, and he can help anybody out. Please join his Facebook groups. I think first time to laser engraving is a big one.
New to laser engraving.
New to laser engraving is a big one. If you watch the show, you like laser cut stuff, there's a lot of good information to go on there. Check him out, his group out. He's always there helping people. So, I mean, he helps people who have our lasers, who don't have our lasers. He's an awesome guy. He came in yesterday and he was looking at the new Muse Galvo because he was interested to check it out, see how we're doing. Actually, his first laser was one of our first lasers, which is pretty interesting. I thought that story was pretty cool, the way it intertwined. Is that a word?
No.
Okay. All right, add it to the dictionary. So we're just going to have him close the show for us, and if you want to be on the show, just come visit us. We are open. We're back open. Please, you know, contribute to the Las Vegas economy. It's struggling. Casinos, you know, casinos are just opening back up again, and they want your money for sure. But you can have a good time and check up on Full Spectrum Laser as well. So let's check out Jeff Gray.
All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Gray. I'm here touring the Full Spectrum Laser facility in Las Vegas, Nevada. They have some new exciting equipment on the horizon. They have a brand new fiber laser, 20 watt Galvo. I came here to test and see how she works. A little bit about me. I've been in the laser business since 2009. My very first laser was an MLE 40 watt, still running today, 3 tubes later. Full Spectrum has been a very reliable machine making photography and vector equipment. I will be helping Full Spectrum with online support and service. If you are in an area that is local for me, that I can come over and actually do the service itself. I have a lot of experience with lasers and have been extremely happy with Full Spectrum over the last 11 years. Until next time, keep making.
Hey there guys, thanks for watching. If you click here, you can subscribe to our channel, or if you click over this way, you can check out some other videos that we've